I'm Joanne, that's Adam behind the camera, and we are the couple from InspiredTaste.net. Today we're making Crab Rangoon, which are cream cheese and crab stuffed wontons. These are crispy and absolutely delicious. They do not last long in your kitchen. We also have a simple sweet and sour sauce to go along with it, just 3 ingredients, and I love it so much. Let's go make it.
The ingredient list for our filling is nice and short. Prep the veggies first. For color and a little sweetness, we love using 2 tablespoons of diced red bell pepper in our filling. Then we'll need to slice 1 green onion for some flavor. Slice it pretty thin. Add the bell pepper and green onion to 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. Making sure that the cream cheese isn't straight from the fridge helps when we are stirring everything together. Next, let's add some grated garlic. You can mince it, but grating like this makes sure that the garlic blends really nicely into the cream cheese. And finally, to season everything, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce or tamari. Let's get this all mixed up before adding our crab. I use a fork since it helps me to cut through the cream cheese as I mix. We add a generous 8 ounces of crab meat to our filling. I like more crab in the mix than cream cheese. This is Dungeness, but blue crab would also be excellent. Now, while I love the flavor of fresh crab, you can make Crab Rangoon without it. Substitute the crab with cooked and finely chopped shrimp, veggies, tofu, or use imitation crab meat, known as surimi. To seal our wontons, we use a beaten egg. You can use water, we just find that egg holds together a bit better. There are a variety of shapes you can choose when folding the wontons. We stick with a simple envelope, but feel free to experiment. So to do it like me, place a wonton wrapper on a clean work surface. Spoon a small amount of the crab filling onto the center of the wrapper. I use a teaspoon measure. Brush water or a beaten egg around the edges of the wrapper, which helps them seal. And then fold the wonton and form a triangle like this. As I fold, I do my best to squeeze out any air inside the wonton and really press the edges together so that they seal. Now brush one side of the triangle with the egg and fold the 2 corners in to make a little envelope. Now here's a great time to talk about making these ahead of time. First, you can store the filling in the fridge for up to 3 days. Second, you can freeze the filled and folded wontons before cooking them. And third, you can freeze them after you've cooked them. Check the article on Inspired Taste for all the details on freezing these Crab Rangoon. Everything you need to know is right there.
I have to tell you that the idea of having these ready in the freezer makes me pretty excited. Crab Rangoon on demand. I can get behind that.
While I'm filling and folding, let's talk about cooking these. For the best results, fry them just before serving. I'm usually not someone who fries a lot at home, but in this case, the results are so much better when fried. Once they are fried, to keep them warm and crisp while you finish the remaining batches or wait on your guests, place the fried wontons on a cooling rack set over a baking sheet in a 200-degree Fahrenheit oven. If you want to bake them or use an air fryer, we have included our tips in the recipe on Inspired Taste. But I'll say again, for the best light and crispy results, frying is the way to go.
Now we are ready to cook them.
We fry our Crab Rangoon in peanut oil at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I use a small, deep pot for 2 reasons. 1, it doesn't require as much oil as a larger pot, and 2, using a deeper pot allows me to leave a good amount of space between the oil and the top of the pot. So if anything bubbles up, I don't risk it coming over the sides. If you don't have peanut oil, use vegetable oil or another high heat oil. Since we are using a small pot, we fry the wontons in batches. Each batch takes a few minutes to cook, so the whole cooking process goes quickly. Add however many wontons reasonably fit into your pot. For me, that's 5 to 6. Now let them cook, pushing them down slightly and rotating them in the oil so that they turn golden brown. When golden, carefully remove them from the oil and place them onto a baking sheet lined with a paper towel. You can see I'm using my fish spatula, which might seem odd, but I find it fits perfectly in the pot I'm using and allows me to drain the wontons of extra oil before moving them to the baking sheet. I've also got my candy thermometer. I like knowing exactly what temperature my oil is. Don't be surprised if as you add your wontons to the oil, the temperature drops slightly. Just try to dial in your heat so that the drop is minimal. Oh, and here's one more tip. After you are done frying, allow the oil to cool completely. It will take a few hours. Then strain it and save it for next time. Now let me show you that ridiculously easy and tasty dipping sauce. We need 3 ingredients: sugar, rice wine vinegar, and chili paste. Stir them over medium heat until the sugar dissolves. It only takes 30 seconds or so. This deceivingly simple sweet and sour sauce blew us away when we first tried it, and I am so excited for you to try it. It's way better than what you can buy at the store. Allowing it to cool slightly is a good idea, but we were too excited, so our sauce was still hot when we poured it into our serving bowl. It's sweet, but not too much. It's also got a bit more kick than the store-bought stuff. Now arrange your crispy wontons around the sauce. I love how the middles are creamy and filled with crab, while the wontons are extra crispy. We are so excited for you to try this recipe. Each time Adam and I tested it, the wontons disappeared quickly. These Crab Rangoon are hard to stop eating. They are that good. Now don't go yet. We want to show you 2 more crab recipes we are sure you will enjoy. First, our crab dip. We use fresh crab, just like in our wontons, cream cheese, cream, and sour cream, as well as some green onion, Old Bay, and mustard powder. It calls for a generous 8 ounces of crab meat, so if you love crab, it's a must try. It's also perfect for parties. You can actually serve it hot or cold, but I have to say that I love how adding some cheese and baking for 20 minutes makes it warm and bubbly. We also have crab cakes. Having spent much of our childhoods in Maryland, we picked up some tricks for making the best homemade crab cakes. In our video, we show you how to make them in a skillet as well as under the broiler. I love both methods. Recipes for the crab dip and crab cakes are shared below. And as always, if you have any questions, let us know. We love hearing from you. See you next time.